Here we are at ATP Papenburg, and the first test is a Belgian pavé in the cobbles. The car's doing 60 kilometers an hour here. And when you see it running, you'll understand why I'm glad that it's the Papenburg test driver driving T50 and not me. Just look at the work that the dampers are doing to keep the wheel and tyre in contact with the road, but also try and smooth off the ride somewhat. Really impressive, and I'm not sure that's something you could do with any other supercar, really. And I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised. They might have given XP1 a wash, but it's clearly a car that's been put through a lot of work. Let's watch what happens with the gravel heap. 30 kilometers an hour the car approaches that, so that's something. Okay then. Yeah. My biggest question now is how are they actually going to get the car down? So next up is the pothole strike, and this is very important for anybody that has the misfortune of driving on the UK roads with all the massive potholes at the moment. But you can see as the car strikes the pothole, just look at how the R53 dampers are just absorbing that up. The airbag didn't go off either. So T50 performing very well under those circumstances. So this next test is for any of you T50 owners that are thinking about jumping a railroad crossing and then braking at the other end. Again, it's just a very extreme set of circumstances you put the car through, but just watch how it performs in slow motion as it takes off, jumps. Again, no airbag going off, car performs ever so well. It's just trying to come up with as many different scenarios as possible. So remember when you were a kid and you built wooden ramps for your BMX? Well, that's kind of like what we're doing here, except it's a £2.3 million supercar. 250mm high ramp, 70 kilometers an hour, and off it goes. But again, it's just trying to figure out with the airbag when it should and should not go off. Sleeping policeman, the bane of every supercar owner's life. Not so with T50. Here it is with sleeping policeman at 60 kilometers an hour. No damage to the car at all. But you watch the dampers working, the ground clearance that Gordon is so keen on makes absolute perfect sense. And no, you don't have to stop and wait on the hydraulic system to raise the front of the car. Gordon wouldn't put a hydraulic system on T50 anyway because it weighed too much. You can see the benefits the way Gordon has designed T50 to be such a practical supercar. Now this is a test that's particularly painful for me to watch, and it just shows the extremes to which we're going to make sure T50 performs in all types of conditions. It's the steel beam test. During this test, the tie rod was damaged and the tyre. That was it. And you'll see as the car approaches now, you'll see it's going fairly slowly, but watch what happens when it hits the steel beam. Oh, I mean, at that point, I'm really glad it says XP1 on the side of the car and not XP10, which is my car. But you can see, I mean, not even any damage to the wheel, just the tie rod. Incredible stuff. So here's the washboard at 80 kilometers an hour. Imagine the torture that all those beautiful lightweight suspension pieces are going through at this point. It's also doing that airbag calibration to make sure in extreme circumstances it doesn't go off accidentally. And it really accelerates the development process of the car to see which components are going to be put under a lot of stress. One thing to think about too, with such a bad surface, if there is any kind of resonance going through the cabin, trust me, the old washboard will pick it up. So this is the wild boar test. The car approaches at 70 kilometers an hour and hits an 80 kilogram simulated wild boar with the front of the car. This is painful to watch. Let's see what the result is. I mean, that is a big impact. Wow. I'm sure I want to be doing that with my T50. But the damage is minimal at the front. I mean, that is so impressive. And again, that's the type of time you want the airbag to go off when you've hit something like the wild boar. Not the most subtle test, I would say, we maybe go through with T50, but you see the lengths that we've talked about that we go to make sure that this car is as safe and reliable as it can possibly be.